I wanted to make a video today about burnout specifically because it's something that you're going to go through if you decide that you want to do something cool in life. This life is really, really hard. And what I'm doing right now is I left my GoPro running all night when I was recording my painting. I try to paint as often as I can, and I try to play drums and make music as often as I can because a long time ago I wrote down in my, first iteration of what it means to live a meaningful life that if I can paint and I can make music every day for at least 5 minutes, along with anything else, but that was a prerequisite. I'm gonna live a satisfying life. I'm gonna live a life that I actually enjoy. And I think all of us need to, at some point, get to know that about ourselves. And I'm assuming that it changes over time. But at the end of the day, don't worry so much about the change if you don't even know where you're at now. And it's very, very important to have those things locked in. I talk about this concept of big rocks for those of you that have seen the same video that I have about that guy explaining to those kids what's important in life. In the classroom, the big rocks are the things that allow you to sustain, things that make a drastic difference in whether or not you will be able to last. Because guys, more than anything else, this life is an absolute and utter marathon. I mean, humans live a long time compared to other organisms. I was like, well, what does it mean to be a lazy bird? Does a lazy bird get away with still getting worms and food and shelter? I don't think so. Does a lazy bird get scoffed at by the other birds? Does it not get as many mates? I think so. So it's important to come to terms with what are those things in life. Now, you might be at a stage like I was a couple years ago where you're doing something that's a vice and you think the vice is part of that equation, that staying up late, jacking off, smoking weed, whatever is a part of that equation. And it very, very well may be, okay? I'm not here to judge you, but what I'm always trying to consider is novelty. And it's the thing that always comes back to me. It's having new cool things come up, or new cool things to think about, or new ways to think about old things. But I'm always thinking about new things. I'm innately a creative spirit. And without new things in my life, I feel like it's stagnating. I might be accelerating, I might be going places that are interesting to me in the long run, but the delay of gratification, it's pretty miserable at times, you know? I think you owe it to yourself to schedule in novelty chunks in life. And on top of that, you owe it to yourself to schedule in times where you are not working at all. And chunks of time where, like a week of time, like taking a vacation off. Even if you're in a financial situation where you're like, I don't know if I can. If you're working 12 to 15 hours a day for weeks and weeks on end, you're the type of people that I'm talking to because you can relate to what I'm going through. We need time away from the things that we're doing to recontextualize and to refill up our inspiration cup. The issue with that is, where do you find the time to schedule a vacation? That's the hard part. So I recommend, if you're watching this video, pause the video and just think about a week of time in the future that you'd like to take off. Think about the amount of work that you've been doing. Think about how long you think you can sustain that, and try to get pretty exact with it. Try to get to a number of days if you can. Try to get to the number of weeks if you can. And try to think very specifically about where you want to go. Do you have to take a flight there? What do you have to do in order to make that a reality? That's my recommendation to you. If you're listening to this, pause this video and take care of that task. So I can think about a week that I want to take off, and it's going to be very, very important for me to take that week off because I'm starting to hit a bit of a lull. I'll tell you my experience. I'm working 6 days a week as a dentist. Saturdays, it's like 9 to 3. But the rest of the days, I'm basically going from 7 to about 5 p.m. daily. And Then I come home and I usually do work on my personal brand, or I do work on my nonprofit. And I don't really have a girlfriend currently, and I don't have any plans of having a family in the near future. I live with my mom for two reasons. One, companionship, and two, because I feel that it is my responsibility to offer someone that cared so much about me company and support and really anything they want. So that's kind of my life circumstance. And the funny thing about these videos, guys, for those of you that do listen to these things consistently in any capacity, is Turabify at its core is really a journal of one life. It's a journal of how one man lived his life. And it's a video journal, and it's an auditory journal, and it's a visual journal. And a long time ago, I came across a really beautiful philosophy that every soul in this universe makes up a much larger, more beautiful picture of the universe. Maybe I'm missing things. Maybe it's not every soul, and maybe it's not every living object that only contributes to the picture of the universe, but maybe it's everything. And what I want to do is just add my little piece to the universe. My little or big, lucky or intentional piece to the universe. And I think all of us kind of feel that way to some degree. And so, hobbies, super key. Taking time off, super key. Discipline, super key. Relationships, super key. Okay? All of these things matter, guys. And if you don't have one of them, there's time to figure it out. Right? You don't have to have everything figured out. Anyone that tells you that there's a time frame to figure out your life is probably not telling you the truth. The truth is, everything goes on its own time. The truth is, time doesn't really exist. It's a mirage, much like money is. So try to get what you want out of this life. Feel your way through it as much as you can. And just realize you don't have to have all the answers right now, but at least try to get some of them. Or try to feel your way towards some of them. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you.